Officials in Michigan and the city of Detroit have asked far-right attorneys including Sidney Powell and Wood to pay more than $200,000 in attorney's fees for their post-election lawsuit alleging fraud in the state, potentially the first in a series of high-dollar payments Powell may have to make for her election fraud claims. The Michigan attorney's fees could be just the first Powell and her co-counsel will be asked to pay, as Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers has also filed a motion for sanctions and attorney's fees over the lawsuit Powell brought in that state alleging widespread fraud. Evers has asked the court to force plaintiffs and their counsel to pay $106,780 in attorney's fees, noting in a recent court filing that the decision in Michigan bolsters the state's request. Judge Parker's rationale applies here just as incontrovertibly as it did in the Michigan case, Evers' attorneys wrote. Powell is also facing defamation lawsuits from voting machine companies Dominion Voting Systems and Smartmatic for her election fraud claims involving their machines. The Dominion lawsuit, which the court has allowed to move forward, is asking for $1.3 billion in damages, and the Smartmatic suit, which also targets Rudy Giuliani, Fox News and several of its anchors, asks for $2.7 billion. Despite the haze of confusion, commotion, and chaos counsel intentionally attempted to create by filing this lawsuit, one thing is perfectly clear: plaintiffs' attorneys have scorned their oath, flouted the rules, and attempted to undermine the integrity of the judiciary along the way, Parker wrote in her ruling awarding sanctions, which she said the court was duty-bound to grant. Powell and Wood have not backed down from their fraud claims and have defended themselves against the Michigan lawsuit, which Powell has stood behind, while Wood told the court he was not involved at all with the proceedings and should not be sanctioned for it. Powell said during the sanctions hearing she and her co-counsel have practiced law with the highest standards, and the attorneys representing the defendants who brought the sanctions motion are themselves the ones who have abused the process for political gamesmanship. The Michigan and Wisconsin lawsuits were two of four battleground state lawsuits Powell and her co-counsel filed in the aftermath of the election, a legal strategy Powell dubbed releas the Kraken after the 1981 film The Clash of the Titans. Every one of their lawsuits failed at both the lower courts and U.S. Supreme Court, however, with Parker saying in her initial ruling striking the Michigan lawsuit down that the case was based on nothing but speculation and conjecture.